All right, so I guess I can try to record this session. So a bit ago, we saw a formation in the SPY that suggested that this could be unfolding, this little dotted line. I drew it, and the SPY was here. I'm recapping for people at home. And then I said I want to buy a put, and I did. So that put is already profitable to the tune of $1 million. No, not a million, slightly less than a million. It's up like 10 or 12%. But that's not the point. I want to capture the drop all the way to here or close to it. So what else are we doing? So we're monitoring several things. This is the S&P. This is the SPX. The other one was the SPY. It doesn't matter. They move in tandem. So I'm picking up clues everywhere. So this chart was a 5-minute chart. Then I said we need to look more granular. And we looked at the Bollinger Bands were tight, and that played out. And now we're looking at what are they doing with the rallies. So they rallied. They didn't even come close to where they were supposed to hold. So now the rallies are being sold. So I'm monitoring to see if this 15-second chart is going to play out. And if so, that would get me to probably halfway inside here. And then they will bounce and see how far they can make it to see if I can get this rest of this. I chose today's expirations because this is an active tactical trade. I wrote it up saying somebody's mic is hot, saying that there's an opportunity here, and it's already dropped, I would say 0.7. Somebody's struggling with their mic. So somebody asked sidebar if I chose the options contract for 4-4. Yes, it's for today because that's the fastest route to profits and losses, clearly. It's an active trade, so I chose today. It's not a theory that I think is going to carry over, although I did share that with the video, and I did tell you I think we should drop before we rally, and that would be a healthy drop to get momentum so we can bust out the door that's above us. But this particular trade was based on this 5-minute harmonic setup that was drawn from harmonictrader.com. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. It means it started right for us. So since it was a tactical trade, I'm going to see it through its fruition. So I'm willing to take a little bit of loss here if it doesn't work. So far it's green. I'm monitoring it. So now they're testing. The first test is somewhere around 4, 5, 6, 8. So these are like fast moves, right? So these are not comments that carry over for people at home. So this is my first level of resistance. And if they take that out, I should look at another level of resistance, which would be my judgment here. And of course, above that would be a disappointment. And if you take that out, that means, you know, that setup is in serious jeopardy, the bearish setup. Versus continuation would be losing this one, mini catalyst lower. One step at a time. That's how the thing happens. One step at a time. So if I own puts, they're progressing my way, I have no reason to panic out of them. If the stock price goes against me, and I suffer some losses, then it's an active trade. I should tell myself that, hey, you know what? I think I should stop out. And where? Depends on personal preference. Some people can take pain better than others. So, this is a potential bullish, tiny little bullish development that could help the bears, the bulls, stave off this drop. So maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. I'm just looking out for everything, every little clue. The bottom line is I want to see if the bears, the sellers, because bulls sell, if they're going to do this. Okay, I'm going to take that out. I want to see the behavior. What do you do on pops? I have a feeling that if they take this out, they'll shake out here. Let's see what they do. I will pause it. I'm trying to pause the boring pieces so you guys are not watching a long video. By the way, for people in the room, we have 270 people in the room today. I'm trying to make a video because I always tell people about it afterwards and they don't know what it's like. So I'm trying to take snippets of the day and see how it works. This is still the same just a few minutes later. You can tell from the charts. And by the way, these are 15-second charts. Therefore, you know, they're highly emotional. They cause you to have FOMO at an exponential higher rate than normal. Not everybody has access to 15-second charts. So this is a 30-second chart. So why do we do that? Because most people are watching a 1-minute chart. And if there are opponents, if I bought a put, somebody sold it to me, right? So they wait for the whole minute to play out. Meanwhile, I can see that 4 ticks while they're looking at 1. I can go lower than 5 seconds too. I mean, lower than 15 seconds. So I can see, you know, 20 ticks when they see 1. That's a severe advantage if you're actively trading like this. Same chart, 5-second ticks, but you'll make mistakes watching these. All right, so this is again the same thing, 5 seconds candles. You know, this neckline is still there, about the same thing. They're fighting over it. You know, they have a fail here, they have a fail here, they have a fail here, and a gap here. So maybe they go back and fill the gap, and then they come back down. You see, you don't see the gap. I don't think you saw this on the... Did we see this on the 15-second? So you don't see it. There it is. So if they go to the gap, I may be compelled to, if I didn't know it was there, to bail out of my bear. I wouldn't. I want to see what happens above the gap. Let's see what happens here. This is an important island little tick. Now, how accurate are these ticks? I don't know, but I know it's better than nothing. So this platform is TradingView. This is not free. Having sub 1 minute, I don't know what level will get you there, but if you're actively trading, I mean, is that a problem if it's $15 a month? So manage your own trades. Nothing has happened really. I want to capture the whole move, otherwise it's a lot of work for nothing. I want this. That's what we're going after, at least down to here. And this is the SPX versus the SPY. It's a cleaner look. To me it is. That's why it's choppy. How about this? I get better results when I watch the SPX to trade the SPY. I don't know why. I got us big wins last week based on that. Remember the two? One big rally and one big drop because of the SPX. The drop was phenomenal, and that we saw off of the SPX. So what I want, if I'm bearish, for this trade is to lose this. What the bulls want is they finally do this so they can go back and fill that little tiny gap they have up there. So zooming back to 15 seconds. Now that we know what lies above, we are not going to get faked out with this. There's somewhere in the middle that's going to be a problem. This is a little bit easier on the eyes. Every time I hit pause, I was like, no, 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 now it's going to happen. It's going to happen. She's going to blow. So that's what futures traders do. They snipe, and sit and wait and lay and draw and wait and put the triggers, put the alerts and wait, and then something happens and then they put a trade on and then they're trading nothing but that and focus all the energy on that. Any thoughts on NVIDIA? Those thoughts are going to have to sit and wait because we're doing this right now. Yes, thoughts on NVIDIA. You're going to have to tell me what your time frame is for your NVIDIA thoughts. Otherwise, I did share a big video yesterday for the bigger picture, JC. So tell me your time frame. I may be able to deploy something else somewhere to help you out. Intraday, you have a call. Okay, so let me switch windows without switching. I don't know if I can do that. So many windows open. My computer is about to puke. So I'm assuming if this is falling, NVIDIA is under pressure, right? Okay, so I just switched windows. Hopefully everything else is still working. Okay, so short term, you don't have any negative divergences, so there's no need to bail on it short term on the 1 minute increments. So that's like an immediate price action thing. NVIDIA. That's from the TradeEtics information. Looking at the chart, 5 minutes, you have a ledge you need to hold. So I would assume 273 is significant. There are two big candles split there on a 5 minute basis, versus the catalyst is 275.5. Is that okay? Look at that. Tell me humans are doing this. Nope, but look at what's drawing here. What just drew itself? Somewhere here, if they fade one more time, they risk, you know, a little. Where is it? Anyway, somehow it's not drawing itself. The head and shoulders. So the downside potential from this, if it does lose the line they're trying to hold so desperately, is another clue in the puzzle of our thing. So if this does trigger, that's why they're bouncing. We're yet one step closer to our target via two. This tiny thing and this minimal thing. So you see, I drew this sideways earlier if you watched the video, and then now I added another one. Clues to get me to my goal of this. All of this junk is right there. That's what we're looking at right there. One step at a time. So somebody who's just buying calls or puts, this is their enemy. Me. I normally don't trade these. I help you trade them because I'm answering NVIDIA questions that I'm going to mess up my own trade. I'm confident. So, but this time I just took a small trade with you people, and I'm up 18% in what, 20 minutes? So it's like watching paint dry, but when you get to triggers, things move faster. So I just want them to lose it. Come on, just one more. Somebody blow on it. Come on, one more. Whoop. Release the hounds. Thanks, Wes, for blowing on it. Okay, so now I'm going to go granular to see how when they bounce, how they're going to hit the roof. It's like when you throw somebody in the pool, they bounce right back up, or try to breathe. They want to get back above. And if they can't, they come back and they lose this, then this is pretty much a done deal. More downside. Okay, so let's track it on the big picture. We're right here. Now we're entering this big cluster from today, earlier today. This should not be easy to lose. So let's see how fast they go through it. So now they're gapping down on the 5 seconds. So I can zoom back out to 15 seconds. Again, this is not my target. This is a tiny step I just drew in front of you that gets me to a tiny step I just drew in front of you a bit earlier, which gets me half my move. So now I'm half my move. And if I look at my puts, they're up 32%. So 31, 32%. Depends on which ones you took. Jack, I'm not reading comments. So support, that's my target. So yes, of course it's support. I don't know to what effect you need that support comment to. What got me short is this pattern drew itself. It's a harmonic pattern that once it draws itself, it doesn't say go short. It just says go look for an opportunity to short. And then I looked at the internals like RSI and ROC and things like that, and I said, okay, we might be looking at a little dip. And I said, I'm taking a put with a stop. So I took the put and it went my way. That's how it works. And this pattern was drawn from a piece of software that's not cheap, but it pays for itself. So it's a one-time fee. HarmonicTrader.com. There you go. Free commercial, but they're good people. It's whatever it is, $750, $800. It's a one-time fee. It pays for itself if you know how to use it. It's not a trade alert. It didn't tell me go short. It says go look for a short if it's there. And we did. And we look at a million things. We do this at least 1 or 2 runs a day. I don't do them. I track them for my team. And we have 276 people right now. You don't believe me? I'll bring it to you. We gotta cover up the meeting place so we don't have squatters pop in for today. They're watching this, which is that, and we're doing our thing. So they're trying to get the neckline back. So they better, because if they don't, now this becomes another catalyst lower to get me to my mid destination. Here. So we're tracking it one piece at a time. All right, so I'm going to pause it for a little bit so the video wouldn't be 10,000 hours long. Okay, so update while they're struggling. This is an incredibly important spot to hold now. Even though this is a lot of support, they made such a sharp bounce that they made it important. So now going back to this, what you were watching, they're still trying to recover the neckline. So when they come back down, they better hold this. Look, they made a stance for 5-6 candles, and it's very pointy. It's easy mark for the bear if they bring it back down to here. And the one thing that people miss is the behavior. What's the algorithmic behavior now, if you look at it? So you want to know who's controlling the action. That's the important piece. So it's very important for the bulls to hold level here to make some progress with higher lows. Lower highs is okay, as long as you make more higher lows. Anyway. Like this is important. This will get you here. That's pretty important. That's not very good. Okay, let's go to 5 seconds. If you squint, so now there's like a little tiny box on the 5-second chart. This is nothing I would usually draw, but just to show you the face-off right now. What's important? These 2 lines. Eventually, you don't need to draw lines. If I didn't have anybody watching, I wouldn't even draw lines. We're 18 minutes in to this video, so how much more are we going to show you? I'll probably pause it and then show you the end result. This is a tiny little head and shoulders that will get you here, which would be pretty disappointing for the bulls. So I'm going to pause it, the recording, and then we'll come back and show the results. Meanwhile, it was a winning 30% trade, so somebody could have just booked it. All right, we're still watching, but now the SPY is super tight. So a move is coming in the next, I don't know, few minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, 3 minutes. Which way? I don't know. I know it's super tight, and we're still stuck in the range. Something's got to give. It's like a super ball bouncing in a tight little area. You open a window, it's going to come flying out of the window. Which way? I don't know. Let's see. They're posturing up. Okay, so they made progress, the bulls. This is a rally, consolidation, so they can come to here. Okay, now I see deterioration in the put quote. So finally, the price action in the options chain matches the price action on the chart. Okay, let's zoom out to a 30-second chart. So these are significant moves trying to recover necklines. So they did get the one neckline back. Now they have the bigger problem up here. Let's see what they do with it. Let's go to the original chart. All this is part of normal price action. If you look at it, so we forget that we're watching such short-term charts. You have this, whoops, Nick, come on. Whatever, dome that came back and now it's bouncing. So if it does this, it still can deliver the same. So what I'm saying is they need to recover the neckline and continue on with higher lows. So they're not out of the woods is what I'm saying. Let's see what happens. So this was the only resistance line we had just a few minutes ago. This was the other one. I think there's one in the middle somewhere around 4, 5, 6, 9. Let's see what happens. It's a phantom one. I will pause the recorder. All right, so I think I'm going to end the recording here. They're still fighting over it. The bulls have made progress, but the breakdown is still going on. So it's like down to the last minute. They haven't overcome. So if you don't know, I drew this earlier, this whole bounce. I said you want to avoid this. So this little tiny one we were chasing today was a tiny portion of the big guy, which will be negated if they can just make a new high and just continue on. So that's the battle for the close. Unfortunately, I'm going to stop the recording. So if you're in the room here, don't worry about it. I'm not stopping anything for you. I'm just stopping the recording I'm doing for other people out there.